All right, it's a pleasure to introduce Robin Quarter, who is one of the mentors on LinkedLeaders. Robin has extensive experience in school psychology and special ed and works in really lives in rural Idaho, but really works with people all over the country. So I'm going to get out of the way and let Robin introduce herself. She'll do a much better job. So Robin, welcome.
Yes, thank you. Well, it was a great introduction. Yes, my name is Robin Quarter. I'm a school psychologist by trade. A little bit about, kind of what I do in my experience. I was a special ed director on the ground at a brick and mortar building. I was a special ed director, school psychologist. I was also been over federal programs. And then I moved over into kind of like the virtual sector. And so now I travel around a lot. And so I get to see a lot of different people in a lot of different states. And I hear a lot of different, issues, stumbling blocks, and different kind of pain points that some of the districts have. So a little bit of me in a nutshell.
Yeah, awesome. Well, again, a lot of expertise, rural education. I mean, you've kind of done a little bit of everything. So, and I know right now you work specifically with school psychologists around the country. Can you share maybe some examples of context and where you're doing mentoring and coaching, what that looks like, and maybe some of the examples that you've kind of done, experienced recently with the different people you've worked with.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. Where I currently support between 85 and 100 school psychologists across the country. Some of the varying mentor kinds of questions that I get typically could be along the lines of eligibility criteria in various states. Each state kind of does it a little differently, especially if we're looking at specific learning disability. I've also, when I have conversations with school districts and they struggle with, trying to find the right person for the right spot, I might, remind them of the federal programs and the different ways that they can, be creative with their funding sources to try to help them, make sure that they have all the staff in that they need, do things like that. So mainly, it's mainly just kind of keeping everybody, current with what the trends are and what the federal regulations are with special education and school psychology.
What are some examples that you could think of where school leaders, either at the district level or school level, that they might want to come have a conversation with you? What kind of questions might they have that you could help them with?
Hmm. So some of the questions that they might have could be if they have counseling sessions or things like that, and they need to get creative on scheduling or trying to, figure out, how to implement or start maybe an RTI or MTSS in their elementary school. And then, that works out pretty good, but now they might need some help on how does that look in a secondary setting? Those sorts of things, and helping districts use some of the data that they already have with some of those screeners that each individual state kind of offers and see if we can kind of problem solve maybe some best group kind of scenarios to help capture, what the students' needs are and what resources are available within the district so that we could, get a pretty good team together and a pretty good plan on how to, bridge that gap between what the kids are doing and what we're expecting them to be able to do.
Awesome, cool. And I would imagine special ed, I mean, you've worked with title programs, all those kind of things. You probably have a lot of expertise there. So if they're struggling in any of those areas or just need to have more information, you're probably a great resource to them for that.
Yeah. And just being able, if they needed to get creative with their Title II funds, improving teacher quality, what are some of the ways that we could, do that still fall within the parameters of those federal guidelines?
Yeah, awesome. Cool, Robin. Well,
So
thank you so much for being part of Link Leaders, and hopefully we can send some leaders or some people your way to get to access some of your expertise. So thanks.
sounds fantastic. I look forward to hearing from anyone and everyone.
Awesome. Thanks.
Great.